All right, so we're back at it on the Mod 12 lab to setting up a DHCP service. And in this video, we are going to configure the router. Now, I've made a couple adjustments from the last video. I've added not just the port number, but added the FA in front of it, which indicates that it's what type of port number it is, and the default gateway for our 4 different subnets. I've also added over here on the side the instructions or the code that you're going to have to type in order to configure the router properly for DHCP. So right now, when a request goes through the switch and to the router requesting a IP address, the router doesn't know what to do with it. It doesn't know where to send it to. So by following these commands over here, following these commands over here, well, there you go. Can't highlight it, but you can see it. We're going to tell the router when information comes into each default gateway where to send the request to. So we go click on the router, and we want the CLI, and CLI stands for Command Line Interface. Command Line Interface, or, the command prompt. It's a different way to say the command prompt. So first thing to get started, we're just going to hit enter, right? So you're going to click on it in there and just hit enter. And notice the router, I know it's a little small. I can't really change anything. You have to look close. But the router prompt comes up. And so the first 2 things we're going to type in is number 1, enable. So that means we're going to type in the word enable to kind of turn the router on. ENABLE, hit enter. And now notice the router has the pound sign after it, right? Instead of the chevron. Then we're going to type in conf t, COMF space T, and hit enter. CONF space T. There we go. All right, I typed in something wrong there, but I got it right now. Then once we do that, we only have to do that once. Then these next set of instructions we're going to repeat for each subnet. So the first thing it says, tell me what interface we're talking about. So our first interface is going to be subnet 1, which is interface FA4/0. So I'm going to type in int, INT, space, FA4/0 and hit enter. Now we are actually in that interface, right? Once we see that pound sign there, and it's got the config note, we know we're in that interface. We got to tell it, the next thing is to tell it what the default gateway is. So for this first interface, we're going to type in IP address, ADDRESS, ID address, and then the default gateway is 192.168.1.1 space, and we also have to tell it what the subnet mask is. So it's 255.255.255.0. Okay. .0. There you go. Make sure you don't make a typo. Hit enter. I did something else wrong. Let's type that in again. IPADDRESS 192.168.1.1. Looks like I have a space in there. Space 255.255.255.0. Enter. IP DRESS .1.1 input detected at ADDRESS. Let me pause this for a second, see if I can figure out my issue. Okay, I'm back. I'm not really sure what I did wrong here. I left and checked out the config to make sure I had it right, and I did. And I typed it in again, and it worked. So I'm not sure what the issue was. So if you have any issues, again, sometimes it's good just to kind of step out and step back in and redo it. Anyway, so there, that's the next step. That's saying, hey, that's the default gateway. The next is to put in the IP helper address. And this is the static address to the DNS or DHCP server. This says, hey, if I get any messages from this default gateway looking for the DHCP server, send it to this helper address that I'm about to put in. So we type in IP helper, HELPER, dash address, RESS, and then we're going to put in 192.168.4.254. Again, that is the subnet address of our host here, or our DHCP server. Oops. Hang on. I got to type it in again. IP GLPER dash ADDRSS 192.168.4.254. There we go. Then we're going to add, and guys, I'm sorry for the issues. I'm recording this after school, and I'm kind of a little tired, so having a little trouble focusing. I apologize. So, but after we get that, and again, it accepted it, then we have to do these two commands that just kind of make sure it runs properly. So no shutdown means keep this port open always. Don't shut down the port. And then do write memory, meaning it kind of that's a term to write it to the hard drive of the router, for lack of a better description. So don't really worry too much about what they do, but you do have to do them in order for this to work in the future. So we're going to write in no shutdown, SHUTDOWN, and then do write memory, do write, WRITE memory, MEMORY, and I didn't I missed a space. Do, again, I'm getting tired. Do write, space, WRITE, memory, MEMORY. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're going to hit exit. And when we hit exit, now we've just left the first port 04. And now this should be set up. So let's just, for fun, go into our subnet over here, this PC.10, and I'm going to click on IP configuration, and I'm going to switch it from static to DHCP. And let's see what happens. It's looking for an IP address, and if we're lucky, failed. Okay, so if you get this is an automatic IP address, meaning that, hey, it couldn't find the DHCP server. So I'm going to have to find out kind of what we did wrong and kind of have to fix that. So again, I'm going to pause the video and see what we got to do to fix this issue. All right, I figured it out. So over here in the DHCP server, underneath services. So again, I'm on our DHCP server, services, went to DHCP. I did not turn the service on. This was off. So I had to turn this back on. Now we're able to kind of, when we go IP configuration, notice that this is the correct, under DHCP, it's the correct IP address starting with host number 5. And we can further test. If we go down the desktop here, I'm going to see if I can ping now our default gateway, which is, again, I'll slide this up a little bit. So we can still ping our default gateway. And now I'm going to ping our DNS host. So that's 4.254. And we've got connectivity there. So I got DHCP set up on the first segment. Now we're going to go back to our router in our command line. And if you recall, we left off by closing out of that first port. Now we're going to go into the second port and redo it. So the second port is FA5/0. So I'm going to move this over, come back to our cheat sheet here, and we're going to type in int /FA5/0. So again, it's 5/0 because it's the next one. So you can see it down here. Hit enter. We're going to do IP address and type in the default gateway. So it's 192.168. So here, this is where are we here? .2.1. Okay. And then incomplete command. Oh, forgot the, my bad. We also got to put in the default gateway, right? So again, 255.255.255.0. Now it'll accept that. Then we're going to put the helper address in saying, hey, where would you send the DHCP requests? So that's IP space helper, HELPER dash address space 192.168.4.254. Okay. Then the no shutdown, do write to memory and exit. No shutdown. No shutdown. Yep. Then do write, WRITE memory, MEMORY, and then exit, EXIT. So now we have just set up this second router here. Let's go ahead and test it. So I'm going to go into the sales PC here. I'm going to go under desktop, go to IP configuration, switch it over. So we're going to leave the static, switch it over to DHCP if it's requesting. And look at that. We got it right there. And put in automatically connected to the DHCP server. So now we're going to move on and do the next one. And again, if you get this, you can obviously fast forward the video, but I'm going to keep walking through to make sure everybody gets it right. We're on the management, which is the .3 subnet, which is on FA3/0. So I'm going to type in int FA3/0. Enter. Then the IP address for the default gateway is IP ADDRESS 192.168.3.1 space, and don't forget the subnet mask, 255.255.255.0. Hit enter. It took it. Now we're going to add the helper address to say where to send it to. IP HELPER space or dash ADDRESS, and then the static IP address for the server, 192.168.4.254. Okay. Enter. No shutdown, no space SHUTDOWN, and do write memory, do write memory, and then exit. Okay, so now we've just finished the third subnet for management. We will switch that over. So go to desktop, hit IP config, switch over to DHCP. It's looking, and there it is. We've got it. Now we just have the last There we go. Let's come over here. So we're on the last subnet here, which is really the DMZ. We might have other PCs on this, so we're going to include it in our DHCP server. We're on port number 2/0. So int fa 2/0. IP address 192.168.4.1, which is the default gateway. Don't forget the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. There we go. And then add the helper address, IP helper, HELPER, -ADDRESS 192.168.4.254. All right. And again, that happens to be on the same subnet as that we're working on. No shutdown. Do write memory. And exit. All right. Now, this server should be then good for DHCP. I'm going to add, just to show you how this works, I'm going to add a new PC here. Right. We're going to add the PC. We'll put it up here. And I'm going to go ahead and configure that. We're going to draw, I guess we're going to do a cable. Since it's to the switch, we're going to do a copper from fast Ethernet to fast Ethernet 1.1. Okay. And we'll click fast forward so it connects. Then we're going to go into this PC, hit desktop, IP configuration, DHCP. Let's see. And the request is simple. There you go. So now we've got them all working because the router is now properly configured to pass through the DHCP request to the DHCP server. Hopefully you're able to follow along. As always, questions, catch up with me, and we'll figure it out. Good luck.